We just got some more big news regarding the upcoming NCAA football video game from EA Sports, which is due out in the summer of 2024. Also known as EA Sports College Football now. I believe that is the official title of the game. I don't think they're calling it NCAA Football anymore, but most people know the game and recognize the game as NCAA Football, so that's more so the title I like to use. Now, we got some more leaks to go over for the game. We've got some smaller things to cover, and we got something that's pretty big, something that a lot of people have been asking about, and something that up until now we had no answers on. So we're going to go over all of that info in this video, but if you don't want to miss out on any of the future updates surrounding this game, as we're going to be getting a lot more in the coming months, make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on. That way you're always up to date with the latest news for the new NCAA football game. Now, before we get into the news and the leaks that were recently revealed, I do want to speak just briefly about the game as a whole, because there's still a decent amount of people that for some reason think this game isn't real, it's not really happening, that everybody's lying about the game for some reason. And I've been covering NCAA football for a long time on this channel, back when we were speculating that a game could be coming out, to now actually having real info about a real game that is coming out. And here are the facts. EA themselves announced this game quite a while ago, and yes, it still isn't out yet. It's taken a while because they're building an entirely new game. This isn't like Madden or NBA 2K or FIFA that never went away and has came out every single year, and they're basically just updating the game to a certain degree and re-releasing it. This is an entirely new game they're building. None of the NCAA 14 code is usable anymore, and they're basically building an entirely new product. Yes, they are using some of the stuff from Madden, they're putting it on the same engine and things like that, but they're still building something completely new, and that takes multiple years. You can't just get a game like that out in a year or two. But not only has EA announced it and spoken on it, ESPN has reported on it, IGN has reported on it, colleges have been exchanging emails with EA about their assets and their logos and their traditions and their songs and stuff like that so that EA could put it in the game. So if you think the game isn't real, you're basically saying that everybody's in kind of one big conspiracy, that EA, ESPN, IGN, all of these colleges are just in a big conspiracy lying about a game, when in fact you could kind of put all of that out the window and just say EA themselves announced the game. So unless you think EA is lying about actively working on a game, then I don't know what to tell you. Now, yes, most of the info we've gotten about the game has been leaks because EA is not ready to share a bunch of info yet. However, they will be sharing some info pretty soon, but they have shared some official info themselves. In fact, a year ago tomorrow is the last time that they shared an official update, and they literally posted it right here on their official Twitter account, and they posted an article to ESPN where they did an interview with ESPN. So again, if you think that ESPN on their website has a fake article from a fake EA company about a game, I don't know what to tell you, right? The game's coming out, and in fact, I literally know the people that are working on the game. As most of you know, I am affiliated with EA to some degree. That's how I get early Madden gameplay every single year and some info about Madden. I'm in their creator network. I literally know the people working on the game. So the game's coming out. It is aiming for July 2024, which is about 7 months away. And one of the bits of info that Matt Brown did just put out, which is the guy that has been leaking a lot of this info because he has some sources at EA, but also he gets some of the info directly from the colleges because it's kind of public information that you can request, and if they want, they can give you the information. But one of the things that he has said is that EA is planning to hopefully share some more official stuff about the game soon. Likely it's going to be maybe college football playoff or the national championship time, where, you know, the most eyes will be on college football. They're probably going to drop some teasers, some screenshots soon, because we are getting close to release, and they're going to start wanting to hype the game up. And then as we get closer to the summer, we're going to start getting more official stuff like the cover athlete, an actual trailer, some news on the website, the same way they do for Madden. So you should expect some actual news from EA themselves to be coming very soon as it pertains to this game. Hold up, stop right there. If you like money and you know sports, then you've got to be on Underdog Fantasy. Their pick'em game allows you to choose from a wide variety of player stats, and all you simply have to do is pick higher or lower. And if you know sports at all, this really isn't that hard. And if they hit, you win money. And the best part about Underdog Fantasy is if you sign up using my promo code RAY, R-A-Y, they're going to give you a free play at sign up, and they're also going to double your first deposit up to $100. So at sign up, basically they will give you a random player that all he has to do is get a single yard. Usually it's a quarterback, sometimes it could be a running back or a receiver, but it'll be a random player to get 1 yard, and if it hits, you win. So they help you win some free money right out the gate, plus they give you the deposit match so that you have free money to play with. And for the Thanksgiving games this week, they're going all out. First off, they're giving you Christian McCaffrey to get a single yard, but they're also going to be randomly giving out $300K in bonus underdog credits to anybody that makes a pick'em slip between today and 5:30 Eastern on Thursday. So basically, if you put at least one entry in before Thursday, there's a decent chance you'll get even more free money and credits put onto your account to play with. Remember, sign up using code RAY to get the free plays and get the $100 deposit match. You just can't beat it. Now that we got all of that out of the way, let's talk about the biggest leak that we just recently got from Matt Brown, who is the guy that's been leaking, pretty much everything about the game for the most part, aside from the little bit of info that EA themselves has put out. Now, he put this on his website, which is a paid service, so I'm not going to go too into detail or share actual images from his site, but another YouTuber by the name of Tubby Light did share some of this info on his YouTube channel recently, and basically the info that we got is that customization is going to be actually a pretty big part of NCAA football, which is something we were worried about, especially seeing as Madden is really lacking in this department. Now, we know that the NCAA games were always kind of better than Madden when it came to customization, presentation, the atmosphere, and stuff like that, and everything that we have heard so far from both EA and from the leaks is that that's going to keep continuing, and we know about the presentation and the pageantry and the atmosphere, but we hadn't really heard anything about customization, or better yet, team builder. And in Tubby Light's video, he went over some of the stuff that Matt Brown broke down on his website, and he said that team builder can potentially be making a return for EA Sports College Football, which would be huge. He then went on to say that one EA employee said that customization will definitely be included in the game upon release, and other sources told him that the plans are to include user-generated content in some capacity. Now, all of that is great news, and some of it is a little vague, but what we do know is that Team Builder potentially will return, but at the very least, we should expect something like a creative team, which is something that Madden still currently does not have for whatever reason. But if you're bringing back NCAA football and you're taking all this time to do it right, which they said they're doing, they want to make sure the modes are deep, the gameplay is good, the presentation, everything is on point. Well, the other element of that is customization, a big area where Madden lacks, and it seems like with NCAA, the team that's working on this game, just like the old team that worked on NCAA 14, some of those guys are still working on this new game, and the passion for this game and the freedoms that they have are just on a different level than Madden. With Madden, you got to answer the NFL, and the NFL is very strict, whereas when it came to the college games, they could always do a little bit more, and it was always more of a niche passion type of project, whereas like the NFL game, Madden, and FIFA, those are flagship products, and they have to kind of do a lot of different things by the book. They got to answer to a lot of different people, and the bottom line is very important, and all those things. And not to say that those things aren't still true for NCAA football, but NCAA football was never as big of a seller of those games. NCAA football didn't even really sell half of what Madden did, because the college football audience is just a lot smaller than the pro football audience. So the game is kind of allowed more freedoms and more creativity, and they don't have to answer to a league that is strict. So that's why NCAA always was more fun and was more in depth, and the guys working on it could really pour more of their passion into it, whereas with Madden, a lot of times they're just held back by a number of different things. So it's really no surprise to me that everything we've heard about this game is exactly in line with the old college games, and now that we're hearing that customization is going to be a big part of the game, which was one of the last things we were waiting to hear, that's a pretty big deal. Now, for those of you that don't know what Team Builder is, because if you're maybe a younger fan and you didn't play some of these older NCAA games, you might not know what Team Builder is, because even if you go back to some of those old games, Team Builder isn't active anymore. You can't use it, but Team Builder was like an actual website that you could go on and create custom teams. So it was create a team on steroids. It was something that you couldn't achieve by just putting a regular create a team in a game. You would go on a website and you can upload your own logos, you could design the uniforms, the stadiums, the fields down to a T, but on top of that, you could put in all of this different information about the program as well. And up on screen is a screenshot here where you can see just an example of this. You had academic prestige, campus lifestyle, coach experience, whether the team was a championship contender or not, what their athletic facilities were like, what the fan base was like, all of this different stuff that you could customize to a T, and then you can import this into the game. Now, are we going to get Team Builder exactly like this back? We don't know. That we know is a possibility. That's what they said, but we can't just guarantee that's back. But as long as we at least have a creative team that allows us to use user-generated content, which they said is the plan, that would mean uploading your own content and being able to customize teams, much more in depth than we were ever able to in a Madden game. That would be a really big deal for football fans, because we have no major football title right now where we can do any of that in there. So So team builder is ideal. That's what everybody wants. And I think eventually we get that, but we know for sure we're going to have create a team. We're going to have customization be included, and it's going to be in a pretty significant way. And the fact that user generated content is going to be allowed is huge because we've just never seen that from an EA football game. And I don't think the NFL themselves would ever allow user generated content in Madden. But again, they're strict. The NCAA, not as strict. So we could be seeing really, hopefully, the football game of our dreams coming pretty soon with all the stuff we've heard about it. You know, I don't want to overhype it too much because we do that with a lot of games. We have done that with a lot of games over the course of history, and a lot of games fail to meet expectations, but it's just everything we've heard about this game so far is literally everything we want to hear, and I'm just excited to see what's to come. Now, if you want to know more details about this game that were just leaked not that long ago, you can check out this other video right here on the screen.